Hey friends, what's up? Philip here with Points of Philip, and I'm here with one question. What if you could get a no annual fee credit card that didn't hit your personal credit report, but also gave you 90,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points with a single spending bonus? Would you jump on that? Well, I think the answer might be yes, because if I actually had the availability to do so, I would be jumping on any one of these three possible offers immediately. So Chase's Inc. line of cards are for businesses, so it's a business card, but it's not terribly difficult to actually get it because most people actually find out that they have a business, whether or not they actually know it. And so these Chase Inc. cards are actually really easy to use, and one actually has a secret superpower that makes it insanely easy to use and insanely powerful. So we're going to get to that. But before we do, I want to ask you guys to like and subscribe. Doing that helps me and YouTube know that what I'm doing is helpful for people like you. And of course, by doing that, that helps more and more people to view it, something I really appreciate. So anyway, now that that's out of the way, let's get into it. So there are three credit cards in the Chase Inc. business card line of family, and so we're going to talk about every single one, and they actually have the exact same essential offer, and so that's 90,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, and so that's going to be on the Chase. So the cash back here, we have the Business Unlimited is $900 cash back. And so this is a no annual fee credit card. Now it earns basically, so you can get $900 in cash back. And that, of course, is earned in the form of Chase Ultimate Reward points after spending $6,000 in the first 3 months. And so if you can spend $6,000 in 3 months, then, well, this is actually going to be super helpful. Now, the standard offer is $750, which actually comes through as 75,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points. And the reason why that's important is because if you have the Chase Sapphire Preferred or even the Chase Business Preferred or the Chase Inc. Business Preferred, you can actually transfer those points to transfer partners, which allow you to get insane, luxurious kind of redemptions. My wife and I used Hyatt points recently to stay at the Park Hyatt in New York for a room that cost $2,500 a night, and we didn't pay a dime. Right? My wife and I also used Air France points to book business class seats from Paris to JFK, and that all it cost us was 50,000 points and about $200, and we were in a business class seat for essentially $4,000 a person chair, and so that was insane value that you can get with these cards. And so the Chase Inc. Unlimited, or the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited, essentially the top line here is it gets 1.5x on every single purchase. And so if you're someone who does a lot of kind of indiscriminate spend, then this is going to be really important for you, because no matter what you're actually spending, you're getting that 1.5x back. And so if you're just doing regular utility payments or kind of transfer payments or even paying your Cisco bill if you're a restaurant, then you're getting 1.5x no matter what. And so this can be pretty huge. Now we're going to go back to the cashback side. So there's a business cash version, and this one gets $900 and bonus cash back. And now I don't have this one, so I'm not familiar on if it earns ultimate rewards or straight cash. But that's also the same kind of spending multiplier. That's $6,000 over the course of 3 months to earn that $900 in cash. And then you get 5% back in select business categories. And so if you actually have a business and you do business related spend, this could be really helpful for you. Now, we're going to get to the star of the show, and that's going to be the Chase Business or Chase Inc. Business Preferred. Say that 5 times fast. So first of all, this has a $95 annual fee. However, this has 90,000 point bonus, so it's 90,000 Chase Ultimate Reward points, which are transferable because as long as you have the preferred card or the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you can transfer those points out to other partners. And so this is really huge. But this one is slightly higher of a spend to meet this point requirement. So you have to spend $8,000 in the first 3 months in order to earn that. And well, this actually might be worth it. We're going to do a deep dive into specifically why this card might actually have a secret superpower that nobody else really has right now. So the Chase Sapphire Reserve card recently got an update, and it actually had one of its most important multipliers go away. So it formerly, before this summer, earned 3 points per dollar on any travel purchase. However, after that refresh, that went down to, well, not 3% back, or 3 points per dollar. And so this actually is the only card that Chase has that gets 3 points per dollar on a wide open travel category. And so if you're someone who is kind of doing traveling at Airbnbs, or if you're just kind of doing indiscriminate traveling and you just want to be able to use one card for everything, this will be it. Because first of all, while it has a Visa card, so that's really super helpful, it also doesn't have any foreign transaction fees. And so what that means is you can actually use this card as your only card overseas. Now you won't earn very much except on travel. So as long as your actual purchase code is travel. So if it's an airfare purchase, or if it's a hotel purchase or something like that, then you can get 3 points per dollar, and you can do it overseas kind of as many times as you want. So not only does it have a really high sign-up bonus, but it has a really solid multiplier. Now, the rule with the multipliers on the Chase Inc. Business Preferred Card is that you can earn 3 points per dollar on the first $150,000 in spend per year. And so it's combined purchases across the following categories. So that would be shipping purchases, advertising purchases made with social media sites and search engines. So if you're doing Google ad spend, or if you're doing Facebook ads, and will get you 3 points per dollar up to $150,000 in spend. And now it also has 3x on internet, cable, and phone services. So that could be really helpful as well as travel. And so that is really, really solid. Now, everything else is 1 point per dollar above those kind of things. And you can also add employee cards at no additional cost for this card. And so this card could really be a solid option for you because, well, you're getting, first of all, a high sign-up bonus. You're getting the option to travel, right? And use one card for travel that has no foreign transaction fees. And honestly, with this card, it's a business card, so it does not hit your credit report because it hits your business credit, not your personal credit, unless you kind of mess up, in which case, yes, they can go after your personal credit or ding your personal credit for this. But set 90,000 points is solid. And so if you were able to try to get multiple of these, like you could try to get the Inc. Business Unlimited and the Inc. Business Preferred Card, and you can get 190 or 180,000 points. And so that's pretty amazing, right? So I want to go ahead and take a brief pause for a little bit to talk to you about our sponsor. And that's actually going to be me, Points with Philip. So I'm actually rolling out a new program where I can actually help you one-on-one with your credit card journey or even your travel journey. So let's say that you just need like 20 minutes or so to kind of fine tune some of any credit card questions you may have. I have a mini session available for you. If you're someone who wants kind of a more longer in-depth conversation, where it's a deep dive for projecting the next 4 or 5 years out on what you do with your credit card journey, well, that's available to you as well. But I also offer a service where if you are someone who you have the points and you have an idea of where you want to travel, but you're really not sure about how to execute it, I can help you as well. So there's a travel kind of consultation that I offer as well, that we can look through the options directly and we can actually help you make the bookings with your points directly. And so I do offer all those services, and we also have a wonderful newsletter that goes out every Friday morning. If you want to subscribe, or if you want to find out more about my personal consultations, learn more in the link below down in the description. Anyway, thanks so much for letting me kind of rant about myself for a little bit. Now onto the video. Let's take a look. I want to take a look at the Chase transfer partner. So first of all, take a look at the hotel transfer partners. So they have Hyatt, which is kind of going to be the big go-to, at least for Chase points. But you can also transfer to IHG or Marriott, although honestly, I wouldn't rather do that because IHG and Marriott both kind of regularly sell their points at a half a cent each. And so you can actually cash out your Chase Ultimate Rewards points and earn double the amount of hotel points, at least with IHG and with Marriott. And so I would definitely recommend doing that, not transferring them directly. But if you're interested in doing Hyatt, I definitely would consider doing that transfer because, well, the Park Hyatt that I stayed at in New York City had a night rate of 45,000 points per night. And so basically this 90,000 sign-up bonus for any one of these 3 cards can actually cover 2 nights at the Park Hyatt in New York, which again is $5,000 in room rates, completely free just by opening the card and meeting the spend bonus. And so Hyatt's a pretty high value target. Now, you do also have some airline partners as well. And so there's Aer Lingus. So that is really, really nice. Aer Lingus is an Avios program, so you can kind of transfer around to any of the Avios partners. Air Canada Aeroplan is also really solid for booking United flights if you don't have any other way to do it. but because we're dealing with Chase points, we do have another way to deal with it, which we'll get to. Air France KLM. So this can be really helpful. Air France is a really great way to book Delta flights. So Delta isn't a transfer partner of Chase, but if you still wanted to use your Chase points to book Delta flights, you could transfer to Air France or even to Virgin and still be able to actually book some of those award space that's available. So just because you have Chase Ultimate Reward points does not mean you can't use them to fly Delta. You just got to do a little bit more research. Now, you can also transfer to British Airways, which again is also Avios. So you could also transfer to Aer Lingus and then to British Airways, but you can also just transfer directly to British Airways, which is nice. Emirates is also really nice. Iberia is really nice as well. JetBlue is really nice. So JetBlue is actually 1-to-1, and well, that's kind of a fading category. Capital One is transfer partners with JetBlue, but it's very unfavorable. And then American Express points are even a little less favorable as well. So I think every $250 Amex points is about 200 JetBlue points. And so, basically, if you are trying to fly on JetBlue Mint, then racking up those Chase points could definitely be the best way to do that for you, at least booking with JetBlue directly. Now, you also have Singapore Airlines, Southwest Airlines, which is solid. They've kind of been going through some devaluations of sorts, but if you do have a Southwest credit card, you can actually still make your points go pretty far. And so this could be really helpful, at least if you have this card, the Chase Inc. Business Preferred, and maybe any of the Southwest cards, then you can still kind of book the cheapest basic fare, but also still get some basic benefits like free checked bags and choosing your seat in advance and things like that. All right, let's take a look now at United. So United is pretty big because, well, they kind of travel everywhere, and there's a lot of places overseas and they don't charge very much in fees when they do so, and so that's really helpful. Now, the challenge with United is that if you're just trying to book a flight, their points can be good or they can be not good. So you got to make sure to look for those sweet spots, and you got to be a little flexible with when you're traveling and kind of how you're traveling in order to make sure those United miles are actually getting that full value. But I think the baseline is supposed to be about $1.50 per point. And so, we can probably expect that across the board for a lot of these, at least like with Southwest is supposed to be similar to that. It's possible to get lower, but it's most likely to be in that range. Now, Virgin Atlantic is also really solid. My Virgin Atlantic points have actually been really great. I've been able to get upwards of 5 to 6 to 7 cents per point because I look for these saver fares that they have where you can get business class seats across the Atlantic and up as low as 35,000 points. But you can also find them regularly at 55,000 or 45,000 as well. And so, if you want business class across Europe and you're not afraid of paying a little bit of fees to get there because you're going to have to travel through Heathrow, then this could be a solid option as well. And so, well, if you're interested in any of these cards, right, there's a link in the description below. Check your referral link, and of course, I get a nice little referral bonus for you doing that. So just by doing that, you're helping out the channel. I can make more amazing content for you guys and kind of teach you more about the world of points and miles. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, thanks so much for stopping by, and I really appreciate it. And let me know if you actually plan on getting these cards in the comment section below, and I can't wait to hear from you there. Bye.